He doesn't see me, apparently, because I did not do anything to his gunner or turret. Oh, he sees me. Whew! That was scary. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on War Thunder with me, Spacefish, and welcome to the 1947 T-54. This very tank used to be at the very top of the Russian battle ratings before the huge battle rating change came, before the modern tanks came to War Thunder, back when Tier 5 was still top tier for tanks. This used to be more or less the pinnacle of the Russian tech tree. Now you do see that there is another few variants of the T-54. There's a 1949 and then there's a 1951, which you could argue were a tad bit higher up in terms of effectivity, and they do have some perks and features to talk of, but the T-54 1947 was what you would start your very top tier lineup journey with, basically. This tank has basically seen it all. It's very... well, it's been there for a long while at this point, and well, back when you actually, when it actually became available at first, it really was one of the better tanks on the vehicle, It really was one of the better tanks on the battlefield. But of course, that has been a long while ago, and we are here today to kind of find out if this thing has held up over the course of all the battle rating changes, of all the new tanks being added to the tech trees, seeing just how well it will still do for us. Now, for a start, a rather recent change that has actually sprung to my eye is this T-54 here, which is a 1949 T-54, actually being at a lower battle rating, which I thought was kind of interesting, because on this T-54 you do get the new turret variant already that you also have on the 1951 T-54, and you technically do get some more ammunition choices, getting the APDS right here, which can be, honestly, rather handy at higher tiers compared to the APAG bullets, which you are somewhat limited to if we have a look back here at the 1947 T-54. You do get, of course, this APCR round right here, but you can see that that does have a lot less penetration efficiency than the APDS round. So, not quite sure why that battle rating is the case. You do, of course, also lose a few things here. The turret rotation goes down among some other factors. But just something to keep in mind there. Now, these days now, as of late, you will actually get that 1949 T-54 before the 1947 one, which did not used to be that way. But looking at this 1947 T-54, you can see you still get the old turret variant. Maybe we can just quickly pull this here up as a comparator. This is the newer T-54 turret variant in comparison, so quite a bit of difference right there, but nothing to worry about all too much right there. As I said, you do get quite significant increases of horizontal rotation speed of your turret right there. Being at 14.3 degrees a second, that's really not all too terrible. If we take a look back here, you get an entry turret rotation speed of 9.5 degrees a second on this one. So quite the significant difference. It's really not the fastest speed in the world. If you look at something like a Leopard 1, you usually get like 21 degrees, I think, per second. So quite a ways off of that, but at the same time, also not the slowest thing in the world. Vertical guidance here, as usual with the Russians, kind of a bit of an issue. You only get -4 degrees, so you do really have to watch out with those little tiny hills and undulations that could make you not being able to depress your gun enough. And I think we've previously had this whole topic of gun depression on my War Thunder streams as well. So definitely something to pay attention to. Well, you know, 17 degrees, nothing really crazy to speak of right there. That's all fine. And a 10.8 second reload rate, which is really not that fast. It's not the slowest thing in the world, but it really is also not the fastest thing in the world either. Now, looking at the gun itself, maybe for a quick second, you do get a 100mm D10T cannon. Quite potent in it for itself at the 7.7 battle rating that it is at. I think it is pretty alright. You'll have to take into account that a bunch of the tanks that you will meet at this battle rating, like the Leopards for example, are not going to be that crazily armored, so penetration isn't always going to be a huge issue, but you will also find different tanks like the British ones. If you look here at the Centurion, you know, a few of those are a bit better armored. You could go all the way up to 8.7 where you may actually encounter real issues, especially with the type of ammo that you get for this gun, because as I previously hinted away at this, this being the oldest model of the T-54, you don't really get all the ammo choices in the world for it. You're missing the APDS, and you're also kind of crucially missing the Heat FS that the late variant of the T-54 gets. The only thing that you can go up to research here for is the BR412D, which gets you up to 239mm of penetration, albeit that is still a conventional APC-BC shell, no Heat FS, no nothing, and well, you do also have the choices of F-APCR, but I'm pretty sure that I would never actually use it because the penetration value is actually in fact lower than the APC-BC shell, and at the same time you don't get any explosive filler, so really probably not the greatest advantage right there, also kind of given that the penetration on angles isn't the greatest thing in the world, and well, the ricochet chance isn't too much better on that one either, so I think this will in the long run be the bullet that you want to go for. You do start with the 412, which only gets you a penetration value of 218mm, which, as I previously said, for some of the squishier tanks like the Leopard one, it's going to be just fine. If you do find some up tiers though, or some of the beefier armored tanks, that can actually be quite the issue these days. So just something to keep in mind right there. Other than that, the cannon I would say is perfectly fine. You don't get any gun stabilization or anything, which at this tier I think isn't too far out of the ordinary. You don't get anything of the sort on the Leopard one either. It's pretty accurate, very hard hitting, so that is all just fine. You do get this 12.7mm machine gun on the top of the turret here in a coax, which is 7.62mm. Nothing really extraordinary there too. Looking at the armor, you can see that the armor values are actually quite high here, especially on the turret, which well, can save you from some of the weaker bullets that you may encounter on down tiers, or maybe even on equal tiers, but that's already very far-fetched, I would say. You can see that the armor here can get quite thick, even, well, especially if you go to an angle, so there is a few spots here and there where you may be luckily able to take a Heat FS shell from a Leopard and actually not take any damage, but those are very far and few in between. Mostly Heat FS is going to make it through, and, well, the additional armor is not going to do that much for you. If you do encounter some people actually using some, like, AP rounds of the sorts, you may get some bounces, you may have some more survivability in this. It has overall quite the increase of well, survivability, well, maybe not survivability, but quite the increase of armor compared to something like a Leopard, but mostly with the ammos that you're going to encounter at this tier these days, I don't think it's going to do that much for you. So don't play this thing too aggressively. Make sure to make the right choices, because this armor mostly is probably not going to save the day. Looking at the other factors, if we have a quick look at the x-ray right here, you can see you've got a crew of 4, kind of in not the best positions in the world, because you can see that from some angles, if somebody's shooting to the right side here, you could get 3 crew members taken out at once and thus just kind of instantly be deleted from the battlefield. You also always have the issue with the first stage ammo storage being right here up front, so all this ammo out here is actually secondary ammo on the T-54, and your first stage is right here behind the fuel tank. So as opposed to something like the Leopard, you cannot really keep that ammo count down to avoid being ammo racked. More or less, whatever you do, if somebody shoots here and actually manages to go past the fuel tank and into your ammo rack, you're going to have a bad day. And that is, honestly, in my book, quite the weakness and quite the important thing to keep in mind. It's, of course, kind of dependent on if the other guy knows where to shoot you, but I think that is quite the dangerous point and quite the drawback about the layout of this tank. Other than that, I would say nothing special. As I said, you do get 4 crew members, so if like 2 crew members get taken out at once, that's not going to be the end of your game at the very least. It is pretty crammed in there though, so as I said, kind of easy to take multiple people out at once. Other than that, pretty usual loadout, except for the first stage ammo storage being here instead of like at the back of the turret or something. Engines at the back here, 806 horsepower that you do get. Now you do have to keep in mind that I haven't totally spaded this vehicle yet, so all the engine upgrades are still missing. You're going to be able to get more out of it. Yeah, so I just noticed I was actually looking at arcade battle stats for whatever reason, and well, turret rotation speed is actually at 9 degrees a second, so excuse me for the misinformation previously, and the engine power is just at 460 horsepower, so absolutely astounded by that. I'm really not sure why the game was on ground arcade battles, because I literally never play those. But yeah, sorry for the wrong stats. So you're at 460 horsepower, which is the more accurate figure, I guess. As I said, you can get more through the spading, and max speed 50 kilometers an hour, which most of the time you're probably not going to reach, but the tank is decently fast and maneuverable. Not as crazy as you would be used to from something like Leopards, but it is decently fast. Other than that, if we have a quick look at the transmission, you can see that this tank already has the notorious issue of many Russian high tiers, that there's only one backwards gear, and it is also really darn slow. 7.5 kilometers an hour backwards, which I really don't enjoy. I think that's always one of the major drawbacks here in the Russian tanks. You will have to learn to live with it, just as you may have had to learn to live with it with some of the Panther chassis in the lower down German tiers, but that is just something to keep in mind, which I would also say is one of the bigger drawbacks of this tank. But with that said, I think that is pretty much everything summed up for a start on the stats of this tank, how it looks on paper, how it will perform on paper. Now let's take it out into the real world, let's get it into some battles, let's get some clips rolling, and hopefully I can show you all a bit more about this. Alright everybody, and welcome to the first game then on the Stalingrad map. Now we're going to go and actually move on somewhat to A, but what I just quickly wanted to show you all in the X-ray here is that, as you can see, I am only taking, whoopsie, I'm only taking 17 bullets with me, and that first stage ammo storage is absolutely filled to bring. I'm pretty sure I'm like missing one row up there of bullets, so if you take 17, you know, you're able to slightly lower the footprint of the overall ammo hold, but it's really kind of limited, the things that you can do to it, unless you want to go with next to no ammo. 17, I would argue, is already quite low. It's half of the max carrying capacity of this tank, which is 34. But still, you know, if you do manage to survive for a bit of a longer time, 17 bullets may mean that you will eventually have to go to a capture point to reload. So something to keep in mind there, but I feel it's sort of worth it to at least try and slightly reduce the overall footprint of that ammo hold. Now, we're not going to go straight on to A, we're going to instead slide around the corner here like madmen, and we're gonna go somewhat here-ish with the Vickers, who seems to have a similar idea to me. I don't just want to straight on punch into the enemy lines, I kind of want to hopefully pop up somewhere where they don't quite expect me as much. So we're going to go through here too. We're going to join the Vickers in his journey. Try not to get shot in the side in the meanwhile, because there's going to be people at B. Now you can see that honestly the turret traverse is pretty darn slow on this thing, so something to very much keep in mind here. While the Vickers is already starting to shoot, I would like to sort of kind of move past here if we can without being shot in the side. So fingers crossed on that end. And we're going to sort of kind of move through here. Uh-oh. 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 There's a tank right there. A tank that seems to be willing to push me. Oh, this was the M48 that killed the Vickers. Okay, but my buddy just killed him somewhat nicely, so we're going to push out around this corner. Say thank you for that bit of help. You extended out right there, and then we're actually going to chill around here, because B is actually not taken by our team, while A is quite nicely swarmed, so I feel that we may actually want to go and turn on that. If we can see something out there, which currently does not seem to be the case. That's my friendlies I hear back there. Oh. It's a non-friendly person I see right there. Radiator track fuel tank. Uh-oh. He doesn't see me apparently, because I did not do anything to his gunner or turret. Oh, he sees me. Whew! That was scary. There goes an M103. Holy moly. Our first hit was not the best one in the world. I sort of thought I was hitting his front or his back. Misestimated the orientation of the tank there somewhat. Now, there seems to be someone off to my left here, apparently. Oh, yeah. Very, very evidently there is. I'm gonna go and push into him from the side as good as we can. I feel like he's gonna die before then. Or we're gonna take half my team with him, you never know, but I'm gonna go and push this way, but he is very much so dead. So we're gonna go and turn back on to B then, and hopefully help capping that. Let me actually take a quick look-see before I push this ridge line again. And we gotta go through there, and then we should pretty quickly be able to see him to our right, or not, because he's already pushed further. Okay, gonna take me a minute. Sorry guys, I'm hurrying as fast as I can, but this is, well, you know, not ideal. There we go. Holy moly, I'm pretty sure he was just about to take out the friendly there. But we came just in time. God. Okay, turning back around then. We are taking B now, which is great news indeed. We're going to go and move out to the straight again, see if we can spot people, otherwise potentially move on towards C. A hard one to get out. Oh, please, gun, get up. Oh my god, no. We only tracked the guy. I mean, at least we tracked him. He did get killed in the end, so that's good news. That's just what a slow turret and gun traverse speed does to you sometimes, I suppose. But we did track him. I will take that as we helped. There is someone off to the left there that I'd actually like to hit, but if the SU actually gives my position away more like this, that is not going to help at all. Hello, buddy. Target destroyed. Another one out of the way that was just about to shoot our teammate. Now I just took... No, stop. Don't repair here. I just took a missile from out there somewhere. So we're going to have to pull back, actually repair that gun, which is going to take us an astonishing 42 seconds. Excuse my bad cruise skills right here, but that's pretty well thus far. Going pretty well thus far. 3 kills, 2 times of which we actually totally saved a teammate. 1 assist and didn't overpush. You know, actually gave it a bit of time, didn't rush too hard, and so far I would say it's worked pretty well for us. I'm going to be back after the gun repair probably. Alright, and welcome back to yet another one. Yet again on Stalingrad, apparently the preferred map for this tank right now. We are once more moving on towards A, and we're probably going to take about the same approach that we had going for us the last time. As the ZSU 57-2 just blasts past us with cannon-assisted propulsion. Absolutely awesome. We're going to go for about the same pathing as last time. We're going to go and slightly dip down towards B, go back towards that building complex, and hopefully try not be that locked down by other tanks as much anymore. It does seem that there's already an enemy tank on B though, so we may have to focus our attention on that in a quick second. But for the time being, let's keep going this very way. Let's just turn the camera over, see if we can spot something. Not quite yet, to be honest. So, we'll be heading on here for a quick second. Maybe just take the position that Vickers was in the last game and see if we can not snipe over to B. We also don't want to leave A alone for too long, I suppose. But for the time being, I think going this way is going to be totally fine, and hopefully we're not going to get flanked by another tank from the enemy team that has about the same idea as to which direction he wants to go in. So, oh. Good night. There's another one, I think. Somewhat close. I hear him. Like there? Pretty sure he's pretty much in front of me. Oh boy. There he is. No, that's not him though. And in comes the Terabad turret traverse, and we absolutely missed. Well, we didn't miss him, but we didn't really do anything to him either. There's so many tanks out there, which is honestly quite the bit of an issue. Now what do we do here? I do not like this one whatsoever. Big boy tank pushing me there. Did crit him at the very least, and he hit me back, but he didn't do anything to me. The American boy pushing me. My gun isn't going down. My gun is not... Gun! Hello! Oh my lordy lord, the gun just doesn't want to go down for me right now. Absolute insanity. We are really not on much of any slope here. This is going to get me absolute freaking lootly murdered. I don't have any choice here but to, try and kill that one. Instead, can't see. Crit. Radiator fuel tank, that helps. I really need help, boys. Can't do anything about my gun right now, which kind of really sucks. Can't kill him like that either, apparently. We're gonna try and hit that dude again, I suppose. Unless he just died. No, he didn't. And I absolutely just missed him. Both my tracks are gone. He doesn't seem to... No, there goes my gun. Help! Please! There's so many people! I can't do... Oh! The help is coming! The help is coming! Oh my god, there's another tank right there! Please repair the gun! Please! Quickly! Oh no! Please, no! Holy moly, we got swarmed right there! Absolutely insane, and that just goes to show you how badly that gun elevation can really hurt you in Russian tanks, and one of the biggest disadvantages of this thing. That was honestly kind of really annoying. Couldn't really do much of anything there, but at least maybe a good showcase for you all. So I'm going to come in with some aerial support from my team, hopefully try and take out one or two of those tanks, because they were all pretty much sitting in one spot. Team's still doing somewhat alright, so we'll see about that, but I'll meet you back in the next clip, I suppose. What a fight. Absolutely insane. Hopefully he is somewhat focused on the IS-3 and not on me. We're going to go and zoom in here. Real quick. Slurp. In we go. Around we go. Did the tiger just get hit? I think he may have. Woo! Certainly some bullets and stuff impacting here. I do want to go back up on this position right here to where I can hopefully somewhat overlook A without being too apparent to the enemy. Tiger did unfortunately end up dying. Is that a tank right there? No, that's the... What do you even call those things? The things that are meant to stop trains before they drive into anything and everything in their way? Not quite sure. Did see a tank back there, unsure if I can hit that. Do see a tank out there, which I could have hit a second ago, but cannot hit anymore. Let's hope he kind of pulls out around that corner, which he does evidently not do. Where you go? Oh, there he is. Target destroyed. Beautiful. That's the first one out of the way. There is more, though, so we do probably kind of want to watch out. There's a guy up there. We do stand somewhat out in the open, but I'm just kind of slightly banking on the fact that most people will hopefully not expect me here too much. There's a tank around the corner, which is friendly. Maybe gonna push up here a tad bit to see if I can hit this guy from here. No, I think he's behind cover, unfortunately. Not really all too hittable for me. Alright, let's focus our attention back over here. Oh, yep, good idea. Target destroyed. Another one out of the way. Absolutely beautiful. Just looked over that way in time, I would say. Pretty lucky coincidence that he was pushing that ridge line just then, but that's another guy out of the way from our side. And lanes, which we should hopefully be somewhat covered against with the roof here, unless they really very well know where we're at. Now there's a tank right there, which I cannot really hit that well just yet. I'm gonna range estimate just to get about an idea. I would say it's like 500-600 meters. Range estimate is telling me 400, so I think we're pretty much spot on. The thing is, he's behind that crate right there. If we shoot him right now, we're not going to do anything other than giving away our position. And then the second I say that and look away, there he goes. Beautiful. And we somehow missed, which sucks. There's another one pushing over, and we're reloading, which also sucks. Kind of want to do something about that, but I'm kind of feeling my team should have that one. Oh boy, there's a light tank somewhat close to us, so we want to be careful here for our own lives too. I think pushing out there is not necessarily the wisest choice in the world. There's another guy coming up right there, so we're going to try and lob bullets over at him. Beautiful fire engine radiator. That's a hit for a start. Now we're reloading, and there's another guy, but I think that guy's pushing behind the building. Gonna try and hit that dude again. Hit. Not sure if he's spotted me now or not. He seems to be turning his turret further again, which could mean that I can hit him inside here. Not if he turns his turret back at me. Come on, turn it. There we go. Beautiful. He turned it back. We ended up killing him. Absolutely nice and beautiful shot. It's another guy right there. Come on, come on, come on. Reload, 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 reload. No! Oh, he was so beautifully out in the open. Come on, push up a bit. A tad bit, dude. Oh, no. I'm dead. Run! We ran. Beautiful. Okay. Now he sort of kind of had the upper hand for a quick second. I think he saw me before then, to be honest, so... Shooting may not have been the worst choice. The thing is... Oh, he's there. What? How do you get there that quickly? That's him there, isn't it? I hear something off to my left. Alright, and back we are then in the main menu in a nice evening atmosphere for a quick wrap-up of the T-54 1947. Now, I think that honestly, this very tank is pretty solid still, despite its age at the battle rating of 7.7. I wouldn't say it's the strongest tank in the world by any means, you know. It's got quite a few shortcomings, it's not the fastest one, it's not the most survivable one, and by God, the turret rotation speed and the vertical guidance can really mess you up. You don't get all the fancy new ammos that you get on something like the Leopard, so I wouldn't say that it's really particularly good at anything, but it's also really not particularly terrible at anything. For the tier that it's at, it's got decent firepower. If you do encounter people in the right situations, even with the worst ammo, you can kill most of anything, which... Speaking of which, from the front, you can certainly not kill most of anything, so that's one of the biggest shortcomings, I would say. Other than that, you know, the armor, the speed, the maneuverability, I think are all things you can very much work with at this tier. It's missing other things as well, such as, you know, the actual smoke charges that you can discharge to the front. It's only got these, you know, random smoke canisters that you can discharge at the back of the vehicle. That's about it. But overall, I think, despite the videos not having the craziest outcomes in the world, you can see that this thing is pretty solid and pretty solidly usable. I really didn't have any games where it was absolutely terribad and I didn't do anything with the tank. I think it's very consistent, and it's a very Nubro friendly entry to the higher tiers, I would say, because it's a lot of what you're used to still, while still packing the punch mostly that you need to prove yourself at the higher tiers. So overall, I would say a somewhat decent tank, by far not my favorite, by far not the best tank in the world, but still very usable indeed. With that said though, let me know your thoughts on this thing down below. Do you have it? Have you used it? How's it been doing for you? As always, I'd very much love to hear that. And well, that's going to be at the end to this video. So as usual, if you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all those things out of the way, as usual, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next episode very soon. Ciao.